when you believe the same thing that your oppressor believes. Pull up at video form. Shout out to Captain OC. He just posted this.
The Lord gave me.
Let's pull it up.
222.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
The Lord
Testing.
At video form. Turn it up. Shout out to Captain OC. He just posted this. Lord gave me. Let's pull it up.
222.
Pull it up. Pull it up. The Lord gave me.
Testing.
At video form. Turn it up. Shout out to Captain OC. Pause it.
Somebody,
Stupid black people, man. They don't even know what the hell that mean. Ethnic idolatry.
I just wanted to come in and talk some shit, man. This do my thing, man. You know how everything be, everything going, whatever. Niggas lying, the truth. Just want to spread some truth. Elon Musk and them fucking up the government. They all gonna destroy the planet. I want y'all to get ready.
Now he's $1.
Get ready, get y'all shit right, get y'all mind right, get y'all grind tight.
He break his own first commandment.
Nigga, we back live on this motherfucker.
You sound crazy trying to defend these white folk.
You know
Go
what
back
I'm
to the
saying?
video real quick.
We gotta make sure we get our mind right.
is that, and I use this phrase, you never put your complexion above your convictions, your Christianity, above your, the message above melanin. You don't put your pigment above biblical principles. And it's becoming something where, Dr. Tony Evans talks about adjectival Christianity, and he speaks about anytime you put something in front of Christian or Christianity, it changes the premise and the focus of the trajectory. So you never put, too many people today are falling into this notion of placing their ethnicity above biblical principles, and because of that, we're dealing with an epidemic of ethnic idolatry, where we're worshiping our own image. In Romans 1.
All right, you can cut it right there. I won't hear no more of him. Now, none of this was ever heard of until the Israelites hit the streets. Until we started teaching who we was according to the Bible, that we are the Israelites. Now, all of a sudden, it's idolatry because we letting the world know that we ain't niggas, spicks, and coons no more. Come on, man. You got to come up out of that white supremacy. You are just regurgitating the things that your slave masters have taught you in these religions. It runs quite parallel. It's the same thing. I think it's the last one on that stuff right there. So let's get into the class, man. Give me that Romans 15:4. Romans 15:4. Read that for.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4.
222.
Whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
I love that scripture because it can go so many different ways. So the Bible is our history book. It's our history book to learn from. It ain't just to read and feel good about and to get you over the hump when you are down and out. It's actually meant for us to learn from and actually overcome the things that we have learned in this society. I'm learning we think are normal because it's been okayed by society. The Bible is meant to correct those things when we learn from it. Give me that in Psalms chapter 78. And we all got to relearn. We all got to be retaught, no matter what age you are, no matter what your education is or how many degrees you got. Read that Psalm 78, start at verse 1.
Psalms chapter 78 and verse 1. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will
I'm trying to fix this goddamn.
Which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us.
All right, give me that. Jump down to verse 5 now.
Verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob, and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in God, and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments.
As a nation, that's where we are right now. We have forgotten the commandments of God. We have forgotten those, and we have replaced them with our own thoughts, our own imaginations. We've replaced them with Christian dogma that's not actually in the Bible, but we have forgotten the works of God and forgotten to keep his commandments. The whole book is about keeping the laws of God. The reason that Israel went into slavery is for breaking the laws of God. And the only way we're going to get back is by keeping those commandments. Finish it out with verse 8.
Verse 8. And might not be as their
Hold on, we almost there.
a stubborn and rebellious generation.
That's what God wants us to do. That we might not be a stubborn and rebellious generation. When you got to train them up as a child, that when we read, thou shalt not, you have to actually do that. There ain't no negotiating with God. It ain't if I feel like it. That's being stubborn and rebellious when that thought comes into your mind. Finish it out.
A generation that set not their heart aright, whose spirit was not steadfast with God.
Give me that in 2 Kings now. Let's get some history on that. 2 Kings chapter 17. Let's read verse 6.
2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 6. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Harbor by the river of Gazan.
Jump back up to verse 3 so we can get the name of the king of Assyria.
Verse 3. Against them came up Salmanasseh, king of Assyria, and Hosea became his servant and gave him presents.
There you go. So that's the king of Assyria. So you newer brothers that are learning your history all over again, write that down.
Almost every
king was King Shalmaneser that took us. Give me that. Go back to verse 6 now.
Verse 6. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Harbor
almost every month.
Gazan and in the cities of the Medes. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
Read on.
And had feared other gods, and walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel, and of the kings of Israel, which they had made. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their God.
Read.
And they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree. And there they burnt incense in all the high places, as did the heathen whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger. For they served idols, whereof the Lord had said unto them, Ye shall not do this thing.
So what are we reading? We're reading the history of the northern kingdom, of what we would call today the Hispanic tribes. This is the history of them, that they served idols and God removed them out of the land. Now I'll give you that in Jeremiah chapter 3. Because this may have happened to the northern kingdom of Israel, which are the Hispanics of today, but the southern kingdom did the same exact thing. Read that, Jeremiah 3. Let's start at verse 6.
Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 6. The Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, Hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel hath done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there hath played the harlot.
We just read that in 2 Kings 17, the history of that, right? Now keep reading.
And I said, after she had done all these things, Turn thou unto me. But she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it.
The southern kingdom saw exactly what the northern kingdom was doing, didn't deal with them because of what they were doing. But look what Judah did as well. Read on.
And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
Judah did the same thing as northern kingdom. They did the same thing that they was cutting off northern kingdom for, wasn't dealing with them for. They went and did the same exact thing. No different, right? Give me that in Romans chapter 3 now. This is why we went over some history of Paul, what he looked like, his mission, where he went to. Now we got the scriptures to back it up. Now that makes sense why he said this. Romans 3 verse 23.
Romans chapter 3 and verse 23. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God.
All 12 tribes have sinned against God. We read where the northern kingdom of Israel went into idolatry, he carried them away. Southern kingdom saw the same thing and fell into it as well and got carried away by Nebuchadnezzar in the Babylon captivity. That's why Paul in Romans 3 and 23, read it again.
For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God.
Now jump over to verse 9.
Verse 9. What then? Are we better than they? No, in no wise. For we have before proved, both Jews and Gentiles, that they are all under sin.
When we read there, you read it about the southern kingdom being the Jews and the Gentiles being the other 10 tribes. He's just saying it in a different way. All of us have committed sin. All of us was in idolatry. All of us was feeding demons. Keep reading.
Verse 10. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that understandeth. There is none that seek after God.
You know what that means? All of us do what is right in our own eyes. We don't consider God. We don't look to the word to see what he thinks about it, how we should live our life. We all do what is right in our own eyes. Go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, and let's read verse 11.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
You know what it means to be fully set in evil? Fully set in evil means you giving your mind, body, and soul over to demons. Read that again.
Verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily.
Because God is merciful. God is patient. He gives us grace. What do we do with that grace? Keep reading.
Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
It's fully set in us to do evil. We don't live after the way of God no more. We live after the way of the devil. We let demons control our body. And when we read the scriptures, what we have done is we have toned down what we read about in the New Testament of Christ healing people. We've toned that down, but we're gonna clear that up today. We gotta put some fear of God back into our soul so we can understand what we actually doing when we commit it. And it ain't just something you can brush over. Go to Jeremiah 44.
And the quick start module is currently active.
Jeremiah
is showing up right here.
Chapter 44.
Icon,
let's read
us to the store here. Not
16
store,
and
but it is showing us the
17.
Banners, the new banners.
Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse 16.
Wait, before you read that, pull up that image that is right after the last video about the greatest trick. Pull that image up. Yeah, that's it.
Now these functions were already
read that for
the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he did not exist.
It's the greatest trick ever. It's the greatest trick ever. It's got people that are living after their own will. They don't consider God. He's not in all. Matter of fact, give me that in what is that? I think it's Psalms 14 and 1. It's the greatest trick. Because what? Execution against the sin is not executed speedily. Therefore, we do the evil, not thinking that it's going to be a judgment for it. 14 and 1.
Psalms chapter 14 and verse 1. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God.
That's what that's right there. That's the greatest trick the devil ever pulled. He's making you think that thought. It ain't coming from God, because when you look out into the world, you can see the judgments of God for the evil that's being done plain as day. Why you think it's a news station and 20-30 minutes of the news be a judgment right here, somebody was shot right here, this happened right here, that happened over there, a murder right here in the wee hours of the morning, there was a crash right here. God put that on display for you. But the greatest trick the devil ever pulled, he was convincing you that he did not exist, that God didn't send him out to judge the wicked of the world. Read that again in Psalms 14 and 1.
Psalms 14 and verse 1. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good.
That's because Satan done tricked you. Satan done tricked you to believe that there is no God and there will be no judgment for the things we do. Give me that. Go to where we at? Jeremiah 44. Jeremiah 44, and let's read verse. Let's read 15. Start at 15.
Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse 15. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned burn incense unto other gods.
These are all the simps. These are all the simps of the nation. There were simps back then. Go ahead, read.
And all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt, in Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee.
We will what?
Not hearken unto thee.
Read.
But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth.
Out of our own mouth. You know what that's called? Do as thou wilt. That's Satan speaking through the woman, because she's the weaker vessel. Jump right on her. And the man didn't correct it. That is straight. Read it again. 17.
But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth.
Out of our own mouth is do as thou wilt. Pull up an image that I got for that. It's an image. The next one right after that. Yup, pull it up.
Now, and when I scroll down, you can see I got adjust.
Read that for them, because a lot of people believe that the things come out of their mouth is of their own thoughts. It's not. You being moved by something. It's either the spirit of God or the spirit of Satan or demon. Read it.
Do as thou wilt is a command in the Satanic Bible.
In the what?
In the Satanic Bible.
If that thought cross your mind, we will do what we want. And there's so many black women, black Christians, you weak and feminine Christian man, you live by that. I'm going to do what I want to. We will do whatsoever have gone out of our own mouth. That is do as thou wilt. Read that again.
Do as thou wilt is a command in the Satanic Bible that means to do whatever you want and feel good about it.
And feel good about it. Feel good about it. Do whatever you want to. Live it up. One life to live. YOLO. All right. You followed after the Satanic Bible, a demon, which was written by one of his children. It was written by one of Satan's kids, the white man. He wrote it.
And if you're interested
now,
in
keep reading.
It is also the name of a magical journal and notebook.
All right, let me see. I don't want that.
And there are so many
okay, we can drop that right there. Go to that link that I got in that group. We strapped on tight. We gotta be moving. Go to that link. Let's pull it up. Go to the top of it. Yeah, very top. Okay, pull it up. Let's read it. Read that.
The Satanic Bible. The Satanic Bible.
Now, as I was mentioning, Satan had one of his Edomite kids write him a book. This is what it is. It say read though. This is one of his kids writing a book for their daddy. Okay.
Take profit trader review.
Let me see. Okay, you can read that top part. No, second paragraph. On the second paragraph.
The Satanic Bible is composed of 4 books. The Book of Satan, the Book of Lucifer, the Book of Belial,
where is that? The Book of Belial.
The Book of Belial, and the Book of Leviathan.
Okay, so, there they got 4 books, whatever. All right. I just want to read it because to let you know what's inside that Satanic Bible, right? Now, I want you to jump down. Let me make sure I didn't pull up no image for that one. So I'm just trying to get. Okay, yeah. Let's scroll down to Satanic Bible, and we are going Book of Satan. I think is what I want. Yeah, I want Book of Satan. Read that. The Book of Satan.
The Book of Satan. Much of the first book of the Satanic Bible is taken from parts of Redbeard's Might is Right, edited to remove racism, anti-Semitism, and misogyny. It challenges both the 10 Commandments and the Golden Rule.
That's what the wicked do. They always challenge the 10 Commandments, the Golden Rule, love your neighbor as yourself. Keep reading.
Advocating, instead of a tooth-for-tooth philosophy, LaVey, through Redbeard, strongly advocates social Darwinism, saying, death to the weakling, wealth to the strong. Humans are identified as instinctively predatory and just and carnal desire.
Read that again.
Humans are identified as instinctually predatory, and lust and carnal desire are singled out as part of humans' intrinsic nature.
So they live by, man, we got desires, we have lust. Why did God give them to us? We should act out on those things. If he didn't want us to have them, why'd he give them to us?
Hey Kev, another way they say that in Christianity, only God can judge me.
Yep.
You can't judge me. Here it is. You a whole whoremonger. You a idolater. You just was in the club last night.
Yeah.
And now, and then you come to the church. Now you say, well, only God can judge me.
Only God can judge me. Go ahead, read that.
The book of Satan suggests a hedonistic outlook, saying, I break away from all conventions that do not lead to my earthly happiness.
I don't read that Bible. I don't believe in that Bible. Nope. I don't believe in that book. Nope. It got some good points in it, but I don't believe that. It got some good qualities in it, but I don't believe that. Cause it keeps me from being happy. Go ahead.
Indulgence is endorsed.
Indulgence is endorsed. Go ahead.
And readers are encouraged to make the most of their lives.
Live in sin. Go ahead.
It criticizes both law and religious principles, instead suggesting doing only what makes one happy and successful. LaVey continues to denounce other religions, and he rails against what he considers to be arbitrary definitions of good and evil.
All right, let me see something. I wanna point something out here. I wrote this down to make sure. Yeah, go back up to the top now. Go back to the first paragraph. I wanted you to bring this out because we don't realize that we are in a fight. We'll go over that later too. We'll realize that we ain't realized that. We think it's a game. Read that first paragraph, and I want you to pay attention to the date in it. Read that.
The Satanic Bible is a collection of essays, observations, and rituals published by Anton LaVey in 1969.
In what year?
1969.
Now, if you've been keeping up with the history of the Israelites that the bishops and deacons been bringing out, been revealing to us, when did the Israelites start hitting the streets teaching that we are the 12 tribes of Israel? 1969. They started teaching that in 1969, and then all of a sudden, by coincidence, the white man decides to publish a book called the Satanic Bible the same time that God poured his spirit out on his people and hit the streets and tell them that we are the 12 tribes of Israel. That ain't by coincidence, y'all. We're in a fight. The demons is trying to feed off of us. The moment that God said it's time for my people to wake up, this is the year of the Lord's deliverance. We're going to begin it right now. So he said,
humans are identified as instinctively predatory and just and carnal desires.
More evil to put out there in front of the children of light so they could be stumbling blocks to them and they can remain in darkness. And we can continue to feed off of them. It happened in 1969. That was crazy when I read that. I was like, wow. Damn you, devil. Damn the devil. All right.
Only God can judge me. You can't judge me. Here it is. You a whole.
Genesis chapter 4. And I want to read 1 through 5.
Chapter 4.
Let's read verse.
I want to read 1 through.
Galatians chapter 5 and verse 19.
Of your desires. Read that again.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery.
They feed off
Of your desires. Read that again. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery. Of your desires. Read that again. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery.
Feed off of those things. 2. Man, they gonna take it.
Read that again. Verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like.
That's a full course meal. Hell, that demons at Golden Corral. They at Sizzler. I know it's old. Some of y'all might not know what Sizzler is. That's old. But that's a full course meal for demons to pick. They go up there, no, I want some of this today. I'm gonna make him do adultery today. I'm gonna make him do some fornication. I'm gonna make him look in that phone right there. I'm gonna make him go on a website. I know they got a lock on their phone. I'm gonna make him buy a computer, and I'm gonna get him here because I want some of that uncleanness today. I'm gonna have me a taste of lasciviousness today, right here. I'm gonna make you do something crazy. Make you go find a transformer and be attracted to. I want some of that today. This is what the demons feed off of. And what God said about it, finish it out, verse 21.
Of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
Jump up to verse 17 now.
Verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit.
You can sum all of those things up as lust. So all the demons feed off of is lust. Just sum it up as lust is what Paul's saying. Read that again, verse 17.
For
For
the flesh lusteth.
Hold on, go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish that.
Verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other.
Hey, Cap, and a lot of y'all don't believe that it feeds off. Get Sirach 18. Read verse 30. Because contrary to what Christianity has taught our people, yes, it's a demon that feeds. You have to feed it. Just like you have to feed your spirit, you can feed your flesh as well. Read that.
Sirach chapter 18 and verse 30.
Come on.
Go not after thy lust.
We just read that in Galatians 5. Go all those lusts, adultery, fornication, lasciviousness, seditions, hatred, murders. It says, go not after thy lust, read.
But refrain thyself from thine appetite.
It calls it an appetite.
There you go.
Why is it an appetite? Because you can feed it. It's what your flesh wants. That demon wants you to feed those appetites.
There you go.
Read on.
If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her.
That please her, because our flesh wants to sin. Our flesh wants to feed after that. We want to go after that. That's why it says refrain from your appetite. Come on.
She will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee.
But if you give into it, guess what? You will become a laughing stock to all your enemies. That's why you see people that go up out of here, y'all look crazy as hell.
Yep.
The enemy is laughing at you. What's all that Israelite stuff you were talking about?
Where your fringes at, man?
Where your fringes at? Dang, you back eating pork? You look crazy.
Right.
I'm telling you, it's an appetite. You can feed it.
Good point right there. Good point. Give me that in Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8, and I want you to read verse 5 on down.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit.
Read on.
For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Read.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God. For it is no subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be.
Here's the point, verse 8.
So then, they that are in the flesh cannot please God.
You can't please God because you got a demon attached to you, feeding off of you. No way you can please God, because the wicked cannot dwell with the righteous. When you in that state, let that demon feed off of that luxurious buffet that he got, all the sins that you are allowing in your body. You can't please God when you're in that midst. That's why I jump back to chapter 6, and I want you to read verse 12. This is why Paul was warning us throughout the Roman, the Greeks, and all of that was around here. He was warning us living amongst these people because they live off the flesh. They daddy is Satan, the top demon. Read that, 6 and 12.
Romans chapter 6 and verse 12. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body.
He's trying to warn us. Don't let it reign in your mortal body because demons feed off of those things. Read.
That ye should obey it in the lust thereof.
That's a demon that's making you obey that lust thereof. That's why he said, don't feed it, man. Don't give in to your appetites. It'll eventually destroy you. Read that verse 13.
There's verse 13. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God.
Don't yield them as instruments to feed a demon. Use your instruments that God gave us to glorify him as righteousness to him. Go to 2 Peter now. Watch what 2 Peter calls this. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 22.
2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 22. But it has happened unto them, according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soap that was washed to her wallowing
Is it
in
working
the
now?
mire.
Are we finally stabilized?
2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 22. But it has happened unto them, according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again.
So Paul called it lust. What feeds demons is lust. Peter called it vomit. That's what they eat off of. That's what a demon feeds off of, is vomit. You know why is that? Because you got to give it your lowest self. It ain't your highest self. It ain't your spiritual self. You got to give it your lowest quality of yourself, which is your flesh. That's vomit in the eyes of God. And that's what they feed off of, devouring all who they come across that allow them to do it. Give me that definition that I got, the first one from Wikipedia. I believe it is. Is that the first one we got on that? No, you got it right. Pull it up at Merriam's. Yep, read that for me.
Lust. Synonyms of lust.
No,
Definition number 1. Usually intense or unbridled sexual desire.
That's the number one thing on lust.
Now we want
It's intense, unbridled sexual desire that causes you to do unseemly things. I'm gonna use what the scriptures say. You do unseemly things, horrible things, things that you ain't proud of after you do them. You feel so bad about it. The ones that are trying to get their life right, they'll confess that they did these things because it make you feel so bad about it, because it's the lowest form of yourself. You are in what do you call it? A beastly state, being devoured by demons. Read the next one on that. 2.
Definition number 2A. An intense longing, craving.
A craving. That's what it is. An intense longing. Intense. Go to the next one I got right there. The next. Go ahead,
Cap, that's why a brother will know he has lust. Well, get his computer locked, get his phone locked down, because he try to battle that lust. But because it's unbridled, uncontrollable, he will go buy another computer, spend $100 to $1,000 for another computer to fulfill that lust.
Man, that demon is strong on you, buddy. That demon is strong on you, sis. When you know that you need to be married, but you're out here still having sex, and you're 2-time baby or 3-time baby. That lust is strong on you. That demon's feasting on you, on your flesh. Now read that Wikipedia one I got about lust.
Lust.
222.
Lust is an intense desire for something. Lust can take any form.
Any form, go ahead.
Such as the lust for sexuality.
That's the number one lust, this sexuality, feeding the flesh. That's why Paul mentioned in Galatians all those things that deal with the flesh, the idolatry, lasciviousness, the fornication. That's the first thing. That's one of the strongest lusts that demons feed off